Space whales? Nope, rather deal with devils. Chapter 29, Fiction by Azazyel. Although the base technology of this world was farther ahead of base humanities in DxDs, it wasn't anything insane like interstellar travel or anything. But when we sat on desks that rose from the floor and we instead used holographic keyboards and sensors that registered our touch on the projected screens on our tables, it was indeed something interesting, but too valuable, with super geniuses like Ajuka back in DxD having better stuff. Beyond the technology and sheer boredom of dealing with class, we got to see Madoka and Sayaka again. Obviously, with Madoka, was Kyubi sitting in Madoka's arms and seeing us perfectly fine. He didn't seemingly react. Until the little shit tried to mentally connect with mommy as per usual and was violently rebuffed by my Seal of Solomon, making the mascot-looking creature writhe in agony at its soul and consciousness being mauled by the seal. With mommy and Hamura giggling under their breath at the sight, while obviously Madoka and Sayaka flinched due to their caring about the mascot. But like the previous day, we went to the roof of the school with the other two mundane or normal girls following us. So, I started off loudly as Sayaka and Madoka stood near the door of the roof, clearly worried about whatever Kyubi was telling them. We already did introductions yesterday, so we can skip that nonsense. What matters now is what Kyubi has been feeding you all since I cut the little shit of his magical girl contract when he tried to use mommy as a bomb to kill us. I said frankly as I waved my hand to form a stool of ice for me and Seraphal to sit upon, as we couldn't feel the cold. Kyubi jumped out of Madoka's arms, and then its deceptively cute voice rang out as it spoke with some interest or curiosity within its voice, despite it being incapable of feeling such emotions. I was aware mommy was reaching her emotional limit and becoming a witch, but I am truly curious as to how you broke the contract and rid her of the negative emotions that would have turned her into a witch. I raised an eyebrow, and then I chuckled as I spoke frankly. It's simple. A magical girl becomes a witch when they get too angsty after listening to too much Linkin Park, so I simply made her into a magical woman who could process those emotions and deal with them like any reasonable and well-adjusted adult. Kyubi's form and swaying tails froze in mid-air at my answer, and even as Madoka and Sayaka flushed at hearing I made mommy a woman, I was focused on Kyubi, who finally spoke, and if anything, his voice was clearly fascinated, and if anything, there was a core of frustration within his voice. So after I sent mommy you three. In the course of mere moments, after we left, you seduced and copulated with her to remove her negative emotions? I am not sure if I should be impressed or disgusted at how you used your monkey instincts to break reality. With that said, I looked over to Madoka and I smiled a small thing as I said clearly. Madoka, Sayaka, we mean you no harm. We have no intent to harm or lead you to harm or even to harm your interests, but my friends Seraphal and Hamura would like to talk to you about your futures due to Kyubi being a rat. I said with my eyes snapping to the creature that had seemingly teleported mere inches away from me and was standing atop the ice bench to stand close to me to inspect me closer. And so Hamura began her monologue, about how all magical girls were cursed to become witches, and their very souls were forced into the soul gems that would act as their phylactery, and their bodies would merely be flesh puppets that were merely a vessel for combat. She put special emphasis on how all magical girls are eventually mentally broken due to the stress of constantly fighting and being isolated from their peers. All of that information was clearly fucking outlandish to Madoka and Sayaka, but there was just one little issue with their disbelief. Kyubi was an asshole with zero emotions. He had no issue or problem with confirming Hamura's words. I don't see what the issue is. You get a wish that breaks the laws of reality in all manners. You want family brought back from the dead, done. You want everyone to love and care for you, done. You wanted special abilities or even infinite money, done. We grant any and all wishes, and all we ask is for your life once you get to enjoy your wish for a good bit. Kyubi said frankly, without inflection in his voice, while Madoka and Sayaka edged away from the mascot, clearly fearing the monster. We do not do it out of some form of malice or any illogical manner, we simply need to harvest your emotions to negate the very universe's natural decay and death. You should all be honored as the entire universe's advanced species looks upon your race of lesser beings with adoration and love. As with each fallen magical girl's death, buying the entire universe entire days of life and allowing truly infinite life in the universe to prosper with your sacrifice. Kyubi said, trying to console Madoka. How could you, Kyubi? We trusted you. Madoka said softly, clearly hurt at the hidden truth, but Kyubi merely tilted its head to the side as it responded quietly. Madoka. Your soul and its potential fate are so great that our sensors state that you will fuel the universe for literal quintillions of years. Kyubi said with some true wonder in its voice as it continued. A single person's suffering and death is nothing in the face of the entire universe gaining essentially immortality, with how we would still acquire more grief seeds with humanity's constantly growing population. I held up a hand as Madoka had tears come to her eyes, and Sayaka looked ready to be spitting mad. Homura, please share your paper with Madoka about the plan. Serafal, you take Sayaka to deal with his boy issues. I am going to play hardball. I said with my eyes glowing primarily blue with a corona of lesser lights forming as I activated my mystic eyes of death perception. I needed to keep Kyubi and its hive mind busy while Homura gave the outline for Madoka's wish, and likewise, Serafal could grant Sayaka's wish without becoming a magical girl. What do you mean hardball? I don't mind playing catch if that will engender more neutral or even positive emotions towards myself if you desire, Jake Barris. Kyubi asked in confusion, but its only response was myself blurring forward and a solid blade of ice stabbing through its forehead and into the line of death I saw with my activated eyes.